Once upon a time, in the village of Breivik, there lived a man who very often went round the shores to look for any treasures from the sea. In the days I'm talking about, shipwrecks were more numerous than the present day. There is a place around the Rumor called Port Anduin. This used to be a famous creek for catching whatever might have been blown ashore. Now this day it happened that it was a southwesterly wind, a good wind for anything going that would land in Port Anduin. He stood above the port and seeing nothing except a human jawbone with beautiful white teeth. The jawbone drawing his attention very much, he went down to the sea, picked it up and examined it, and said to himself that it was the finest set of teeth he had ever seen. And at that stage he threw it away and walked up. And while he was walking up, a few yards distance on the grass, he heard music, pipe music of the finest order, and going closer to it, he found a stone there. And when he turned the stone, he saw there was a stairway going down, and he walked down. And there was the piper, dressed in kilts and playing the pipes, an old grey-headed man beautifully dressed in the green, with silver-buckled shoes. As soon as the stranger came in, he was cordially invited to sit up at the fire, and this the man did. And then the music continued. Food was prepared for him, which he did enjoy very much, and after what appeared to him to be a short time with the fairy, he was told that he could not stay any longer, and that he had to go away. And the man walked up the stairs on which he came down, and was told that when he got up to the top, he must turn the stone and put it in the same position as he found it. He then faced home around the point, and to the home he left behind him where he thought was a few hours ago. Lo and behold, when he arrived in the house, there was nothing in it but bracken, rushes and nettles, and no sign of human habitation at all. Looking about him, he was very much put about, he didn't know what to say, but he came to a decision that he must have been inside a fairy knoll. Looking about him, he could see no houses, except a house a considerable distance from him, and he made a beeline for the house. Inside that house was a cobbler repairing boots, in the accordance of the custom of that day. The cobbler appeared to be a very old man, and, "Come in," he says. "You're a stranger." "Yes, I'm a stranger," he says, and he began to tell him when he left and how he went around the Rumor, the shore, and the Port Anduin. And then the cobbler halted, and began to ransack his mind, and first he said he never heard of the man, but latterly he said, "Yes, now I remember. I remember seeing my great-grandfather, and he heard from his father that an old man went around the shore at the Rumor, and he never came back. And so you must be that man that I heard from my great-grandfather now." And they left it at that decision. And the man who was in the fairy knoll sat on the end of the bench, and he found himself getting very feeble. Now at that stage he was getting weaker and weaker, and he asked the cobbler to send a message if he could to Eoligari, to the church that was built in the days of St. Columba, and from there came a priest. He gave the man that was in the fairy knoll last rites, and as soon as that was done, he crumbled down, a lump of earth.